The one thing I've noticed in the real estate industry is that sellers often struggle to find a realtor that's a good fit. And part of that process, you might have concerns, doubts, hesitation until you actually find the right realtor for you. How did you overcome that?
I'd say our biggest challenge is just figuring out the timing of things. If we need to find a house that we love first, or do we need to sell the condo first? We were very mindful that it was a slow condo market so that could take time. Second challenge was then we found a house sooner than we thought, and that meant we had to get the condo ready to list it in 2 weeks.
And that's kind of when we started to consider needing a realtor to navigate this process. You had a lot of modes of communication, so you had your videos that you could send us with a little update about the market.
And you were also very transparent about the process.
You were concise and efficient with us, which allowed us to efficiently get ready and sell the condo and find our future home. So it definitely worked with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Welcome, my name is Bill, and I'm here today with Connor and Allison, who recently purchased this lovely home in Guelph. And we're going to be talking about their transition from a downtown Toronto condo to this lovely home in Guelph. Let's dive into it. For Allison and Connor, how does it feel to finally be settled in your new home after spending several years in a downtown Toronto condo?
It feels great, like way more space than we had in Toronto, and we have a yard. So just getting settled in the last few weeks.
Yeah, and what is it that motivated you to make this transition from condo living to owning a home?
More space, but more than that was really a yard and just more autonomy over what we could do to the space. With a condo, you're so limited.
Yeah, and just making the space more our own and at our own pace. In terms of renovations or any updating we want to do, we can do it in a few months or in a couple of years. It doesn't have to be done right away, and we can kind of make the house more livable in terms of how we see it for ourselves and our future family.
What is one significant adjustment that you had to make during this transition?
So the biggest adjustment was really figuring out that we weren't going to find what we wanted in Toronto for the price that we wanted. Yeah. But once we had thought about Guelph, we were kind of set on it. And since actually living here, there hasn't been a huge adjustment, especially since we're so close to downtown. We've maintained that kind of lifestyle. I guess the commute this year.
Yeah, my biggest adjustment was the commute, so I'm still working downtown Toronto. And then now that I've gotten a feel for the commute and kind of what the community's like in Guelph, I think I'll start looking for a job closer to home.
So a lot of people are probably making a similar transition. So looking back, what would be one piece of advice that you would give?
We got a lot of the advice that when it's meant to be, it will be.
Yeah.
And that was annoying to hear at the time because we lost a couple houses that we really liked, but there's actually a lot of truth to that. Like, we are so happy with where we've landed, so I think it's worth taking the time to really think about what you want, and especially long term, because when we were looking at Toronto houses, they would have been 2 to 3 years.
So that's the biggest piece of advice we could give, is to be patient, take your time, be flexible in your compromises, but if it's in your budget and you can plan for being in that space for longer, or in that house for a longer period of time, you'll be rewarded financially.
Yeah, so thank you for sharing your experiences and insight. It was a pleasure working with you both, and I wish you all the happiness in your new home.